Do you recall when the alleged legend, Sheryl Swoopes, attempted to persuade everyone that the Indiana Fever locker room was a complete mess? The fact, however, presents a totally different image. Therefore, she might wish to verify her sources. And you know what? She's back at it. She makes audacious accusations regarding Caitlin Clark, Christy Sides, and Kelsey Mitchell in her most recent episode. Swoopes' most recent attempt to stir up controversy has flopped so badly, from outrageous charges to some eye-rolling claims, that it's essentially a guide on how not to comment on the WNBA. In addition to disproving her purported insider insights, we're also showing the envy and false information that have come to define her tactics in this video. We'll discuss how the Indiana Fever have refuted these allegations, giving Swoopes the appearance of being totally out of touch with reality. Warning: the true story of Fever is brimming with heartwarming energy, humor, and teamwork. See how a WNBA legend turned into a joke in record time by staying put. Drama is nothing new to Sheryl Swoopes, but this time she may have gone to a new extreme. Let's reminisce about some of her greatest hits. Rumors that Caitlin Clark wouldn't dominate in her rookie season, assertions that her style wouldn't translate to the WNBA, and rumors about hostile locker rooms. Swoopes seems to have turned his misgivings about Clark and the Fever into a second career. However, Swoopes' reputation has suffered as a result of fans not being readily convinced by unsubstantiated claims. Let's review and set the scene for her history of making false claims before delving into her most recent outburst on Kelsey Mitchell, Christy Sides, and Caitlin Clark. Do you recall when Swoopes brazenly asserted that other players didn't want to play in Indiana because there was a lot of toxicity in the Fever locker room? Quite strong words, don't you think? The catch is that Swoopes acknowledged she wasn't even in the locker room. Let that sink in. Social media provided her with what is referred to as her inside scoop. Indeed, Swoopes is attempting to incite controversy by spreading rumors online. She has effectively turned into the WNBA's equivalent of a tabloid columnist, but one with much less credibility and less facts. Let's not mince words and just call this jealousy. Swoopes has always had a response ready, and it's seldom a good one, since Caitlin Clark's game began drawing attention and setting records. Do you recall when she brought up an additional year of eligibility in an attempt to minimize Clark's scoring records? When someone brought up the fact that Clark played for as many years as her peers, that argument quickly collapsed. However, Swoopes doesn't seem to be very good with facts. Fans have been criticizing her for her constant negativity and unsupported assertions, which is understandable. Why is this important then? Because despite Swoopes' attempts to portray the Fever as a center of unhappiness, the truth is very opposite. Her reliability? Let's just say it's disappearing more quickly than her assertions can be verified. Her attempt to damage the Fever's name has only served to expose her true lack of sensibility. In light of these unfounded charges, the Fever's tenacity and solidarity are more evident than ever. We're going to dissect Swoopes' next diatribe, which is directed against Kelsey Mitchell, Christy Sides, and of course, Caitlin Clark, if you believe these accusations are ridiculous. Spoiler alert, Swoopes' remarks appear even more ludicrous now that the Fever have shut it down. Please remember to like, subscribe, and enable all notifications if you have watched this far and found the video entertaining. We are grateful that you have taken the time to watch this video. Let's go back to the action now. Let's discuss Sheryl Swoopes' most recent attempt to incite controversy, her assertion that Kelsey Mitchell isn't receiving the credit she merits from the Indiana Fever. You would assume Mitchell was being ignored and marginalized by her own team if you listened to Swoopes. However, the facts again paint a totally different picture. First up is Kelly Krauskopf, the new team president and the driving force behind the Fever's hopes of winning a championship. Krauskopf has hailed Mitchell as a pillar of the squad in a number of interviews, frequently stating that she is essential to the Fever's history and future. Krauskopf's remarks, such as, "Kelsey's leadership on and off the court has set the standard for where we're headed, and her impact on the team is irreplaceable. Create a clear picture." Does that seem like neglecting a player? Didn't believe so. Similar opinions have been expressed by Stephanie White, the new head coach of the Fever. Mitchell is one of the team's core three and has been essential to maintaining the team's competitiveness. During challenging seasons, according to White, Swoopes' story appears weak at best, like a house of cards in a windstorm, given this degree of glowing endorsement. Listen to Kelsey Mitchell herself, instead of simply accepting the management's word for it. In public appearances and interviews, Mitchell has conveyed his appreciation for the organization's assistance. She has been candid about her good rapport with Caitlin Clark and other teammates. It's not exactly what someone who feels undervalued would say, is it? Swoopes doesn't understand that this is a team based on respect for one another and common objectives. Her allegations of abuse and disregard don't just lack proof. They deliberately go counter to the story that the team and its players are trying to promote. Mitchell has garnered support from her supporters, who have praised her talent, tenacity, and affection for her teammates. What is the lesson, then? It's that simple. Swoopes' remarks may make for spectacular headlines, but when reality sets in, they fall apart. In addition to recognizing Kelsey Mitchell, the Fever are constructing a future with her at its core. Furthermore, Swoopes' caustic portrayal of her relationship with Caitlin Clark and the squad is not accurate, as anyone who has followed the WNBA knows. Let's now address Christy Sides and the alleged issue she had, as suggested by Sheryl Swoopes. Sides' exit from the Indiana Fever, according to Swoopes, was unjust and motivated by personal problems. However, Swoopes would have you believe that the true story is far more professional and far less controversial. Sides' contribution during her tenure with the squad was praised by Krauskopf. As Krauskopf put it, Christy brought tremendous dedication and worked hard to steer the team during a critical phase. This sounds more like the recognition of a leader who did her part and left when the time was appropriate than the story of a coach getting fired amid mayhem. Such claims demonstrate a management group that prioritizes development and professionalism over drama and dissatisfaction. Sides has remained silent out of respect, which is a definite sign of her professionalism. Fans and analysts alike have applauded her elegant tweet, which was her only statement. According to team sources, the decision to split up was mutually agreed upon and understood by both sides. The Fever management stressed how well they got along with Sides and how her departure was a move that fit the team's changing needs and long-term goals. Once more, where is the toxicity that Swoopes consistently alludes to? It appears to be a product of her imagination alone. Sides' exit, if anything, demonstrates the Fever's dedication to development and flexibility. When it means moving closer to their objectives, they don't hesitate to make difficult decisions. This choice has nothing to do with Caitlin mania or alleged Caitlin Clark influence. That's just another example of Swoopes' exaggeration, which is a handy technique to fabricate a story without any real substance. So why even bring up this story? Because Swoopes' remarks appear to be intended to sow divisiveness rather than to represent fact, much like her previous remarks. The Fever's coaching and management changes, however, are all a part of a larger strategy that has been open and centered on creating a winning, united club. The narrative that Swoopes is attempting to promote